You're sitting across from someone who once felt like home, yet suddenly the air between you is thick with unanswered questions. Why am I so confused? You wonder, tracing the rim of your coffee mug as though it might spell out the answer. That uneasy flutter in your chest isn't a glitch in the system. It's an internal alarm telling you that you're expanding beyond the life that fit you yesterday. Psychologists call this tension developmental dissonance, when our inner growth outpaces the outer structures we live in. Carl Jung framed it as the first tremor of individuation, the lifelong nudge to become a whole, authentic self. The mind senses fresh territory ahead, while the heart still clings to the map you've always followed. The result? Foggy indecision, late-night overthinking, and a nagging sense that something's off. Instead of treating confusion like a red flag warning, try viewing it as a green light, evidence that you're stretching past old limits. Growth rarely announces itself with ceremony. It whispers through discomfort, daring you to listen. Picture your personality as a house you've lived in since childhood. Over the years, you've added rooms, skills, beliefs, stories, but some wings stayed locked because you didn't know they existed. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who broke away from Freud, said our life's mission is to explore every hidden corridor of that house. He called this journey individuation. Individuation isn't about becoming a better version of yourself. It's about becoming a truer one. Jung believed each of us is born with a blueprint for wholeness, yet we start life wearing masks, what he called the persona, to win love, approval, or just a spot on the playground kickball team. Over time, the mask sticks so tight we forget it's not our real face. Then a crisis hits, a breakup, career stall, or that gnawing confusion we talked about, and the mask starts to crack. The pieces that fall away reveal the shadow, the parts of you you've shoved into the basement because they felt unacceptable. Meeting the shadow is uncomfortable, but it's where the gold is hidden. Unused talents, buried passions, and a clearer moral compass. Individuation asks you to integrate those exiled parts, not fight them. It's less about fixing flaws and more about including everything that makes you whole. The payoff? A deeper sense of authenticity, energy, and, most relevant here, a realistic view of whether your current relationship can stretch to hold the fuller version of you emerging. Every relationship starts as a shared rhythm, two people moving to the same beat, trading inside jokes and weekend plans that feel tailor-made. But growth changes the tempo. Maybe you devour books on psychology while your partner still reaches for reality TV comfort, or you wake up wanting sunrise runs while they're happiest sleeping in. At first, the mismatch is subtle, a missed note here, a skipped step there, but over time, the once tight duet can feel like two separate songs blasting through the same speakers. That mismatch isn't anyone's fault, it's developmental math. We don't all grow at identical rates or in identical directions. One partner's career breakthrough can ignite new values around ambition and creativity. The other's family crisis might foster a deeper pull towards stability and tradition. When the distance widens, everyday decisions, where to live, how to spend money, whether to have children, become negotiation battlefields instead of bonding rituals. The tricky part is that love can mask the measurement error. Affection whispers, we can work this out, even as interests, values, and future visions quietly diverge. If unaddressed, the gap turns into chronic friction. Conversations circle the same unresolved points, passion cools to politeness, and shared memories feel more vivid than shared plans. Recognizing the pace difference early is an act of respect, not abandonment. It gives both partners the chance to ask honest questions. Can we recalibrate together? Do we want to? Sometimes the answer is a creative yes, couples counseling, new joint projects, fresh compromises. Other times, the kindest outcome is acknowledging that the container you built together no longer fits who you've each become. You don't need a crystal ball to spot a relationship that's too tight. Your psyche drops hints like breadcrumbs. Here are the loudest ones. 1. Chronic restlessness. You come home and feel antsy for no obvious reason. It's not caffeine or office stress. It's an internal itch whispering, "There's more for you out there." Daydreams about alternative futures rarely include your partner. 2. Value clashes. Early on you agreed about the big stuff. Now you're on different planets. Sustainability versus convenience, depth versus distraction. Values are rail tracks. When they diverge, every destination changes. 3. Diminished emotional charge. Love's electricity used to light the room. Now the switch barely flickers. This isn't calm intimacy, it's emotional numbness. Conversations feel polite, arguments lack fire, and even cuddles seem obligatory. 4. Loss of shared future vision. Healthy couples tell a common story about what's next. If every future talk hits a wall of silence or spirals into debate, the life paths may already be parting. 5. Projection and blame loops. Jung warned that what we disown in ourselves we project onto others. Calling your partner lazy or clingy often mirrors your own fears. If the same criticisms keep recycling, you're probably seeing unresolved parts of yourself. 6. Relief at imagined distance. When you picture life after a breakup and secretly feel relieved, your psyche is exhaling after holding its breath to stay small. Spotting even 2 or 3 of these markers consistently is a cue to pause, reflect, and decide whether the relationship can grow with you, or whether it's time to lovingly loosen your grip. Think of your personality as an iceberg. The tip above water is everything you admit to being: kind, driven, fun. Beneath the surface lies the shadow, traits you'd rather deny: envy, laziness, anger, reckless desire. Carl Jung said the shadow isn't evil, it's simply unlived life. When growth accelerates, that hidden mass starts bumping the hull of your day-to-day reality, and the first place it shows up is often in your relationship. Here's how it works. Suppose you've secretly outgrown your small-town routine, but feel guilty about wanting bigger horizons. Instead of owning the urge, you accuse your partner of holding you back. That's projection, launching a disowned part of yourself onto the nearest screen, which happens to be the person sharing your Netflix password. The louder the accusation, the clearer the clue that the trait is yours. Doing shadow work means calling those projections home. Pause mid-blame and ask, what part of me am I refusing to see? Maybe the clinginess you despise in them is your own fear of independence, or the laziness you criticize masks your terror of slowing down. Reclaiming these traits removes the burden from the relationship. Sometimes this repairs the bond. New self-awareness makes room for empathy. Other times it clarifies that the relationship served its purpose. It mirrored the parts you needed to reclaim, and now both of you deserve space to evolve separately. Framing a breakup as self-growth isn't an excuse, it's an honest diagnosis. You're not rejecting the person, you're refusing to outsource the work only you can do. Comfort zones start as useful shelters. They're the routines, places, and people that convince your nervous system, no predator here, relax. Each time you repeat an action without harm, the brain adds thicker myelin to that pathway, making the behavior smoother and safer next time. Familiar equals efficient. Efficient feels good. The problem appears when safety morphs into shrink wrap. Growth demands friction, new ideas, tougher conversations, different scenery. But the amygdala can't tell the difference between real danger and simple unfamiliarity. It fires the same alarm. That's why asking your partner for a trial separation can make your palms sweat like a bear just walked in. So we settle. We say, "It's not that bad," while ignoring the low-grade ache of unexpressed potential. Jung warned that unlived life doesn't stay quiet. It turns into symptoms: irritability, lethargy, even physical illness. Staying small isn't neutral, it's costly. Reframe the comfort zone as a charging dock, not a permanent address. Its job is to refuel you so you can venture outward, gather new experiences, and then update the doc's blueprint. Healthy relationships do that too, safe and flexible. If the rules never evolve, the dock becomes a cage. Ask, does being with this person expand my options or pare them down? If your life's diameter is shrinking, growth is knocking. Upgrade the dock together or sail on and build a new one. Imagine two ways to fell a dying tree: a controlled cut that guides its fall, protecting nearby saplings, or a panicked yank that sends the trunk crashing everywhere. Breakups work the same way. A healthy separation is a planned descent. An abrupt cutoff is collateral damage. Healthy separation starts with clear, compassionate communication. Schedule a real talk, phones down, eyes up, and name the elephant. I feel I've grown in directions our relationship can't sustain. Speak in I statements, acknowledge shared history, and avoid blame. Next, co-design logistics, housing, finances, friend groups, even pet custody. Set boundaries, no late-night nostalgia texts, perhaps weekly check-ins for a limited time, and share them with allies who'll keep you honest. Finally, grieve deliberately. Therapy, journaling, or ritual. Think burning old letters, not bridges. The goal is integration, honoring what was, harvesting lessons, stepping forward lighter, not shattered. Abrupt cutoffs feel quick but cost more. Ghosting, rage quitting, or vanishing behind "I need space" spares you one hard talk yet spawns weeks or years of unanswered questions. Research shows unresolved endings prolong rumination and delay healing. Plus, you drag unfinished business into the next connection. When deciding how to exit, remember you're rehearsing for every future challenge that demands honesty over comfort. A thoughtful goodbye is relational graduation. A messy exit is dropping out. Choose the method that lets you look back without wincing and lets your former partner do the same. Breaking up isn't just ending a relationship, it's stepping into a strange middle zone where the old life is gone and the new one hasn't formed yet. Psychologists call this liminal space, like waiting in an airport between flights. You're not where you started, but you're not at the next place either. At first, your body reacts with stress, higher heart rate, jumpy thoughts, and waves of sadness or anger. This is normal chemistry, your brain's alarm system trying to make sense of the loss. Here's the surprising part. After the first few weeks, the brain becomes more flexible than usual. It's as if the walls get soft, letting you remodel rooms you never had time to touch. This flexibility helps you ask big questions. What do I really enjoy? Whose opinion actually matters to me? Carl Jung would say you're meeting the self, the deeper core that's bigger than the public mask you wore in the relationship. In this quiet stretch, dreams often get vivid. Write them down. They can be clues, sketches of the life that wants to grow next. Anthropologists note that every rite of passage, graduation, marriage, even moving cities, has three parts: leaving, limbo, and return. Our culture skips the middle part. We push people to bounce back fast. But rushing can seal up wounds before they're clean. If you jump into another romance or bury yourself in work too soon, you may carry unhealed patterns forward. Finally, notice the ripple effect. When you change, your friend circle, daily habits, and even career goals may shift. Instead of fighting these ripples, see them as proof that you're building a bigger life, not just patching a hole. If you feel lost right now, remember, you're not broken, you're under renovation. If your mind feels like a spinning compass, don't panic. Notice where its needle keeps trying to point. Confusion is often less about being lost and more about sensing a new direction before you can name it. Jung believed the psyche sends discomfort as a message. You're on the edge of bigger territory, keep going. Instead of shaming yourself for indecision, treat it as proof that the older map no longer fits. Comment below if you're stepping into your next chapter, or share your own story of outgrowing an old life. Take small daily actions that honor the pull. Read a book that intrigues you, explore a hobby your partner never shared, or simply sit with the question, what feels alive right now? Each honest step builds a trail from uncertainty to clarity. Remember, every meaningful change in life, new job, city, or relationship, started as a vague unease that refused to quiet down. So let confusion be your GPS recalculating the route. Trust the signal. It's not pointing you away from safety, it's guiding you toward a larger, more truthful life. Bovenkant formulier. Onderkant formulier.